Okay, so in this one, I'm talking about yesterday's doctor's appointment, which is Tuesday. Um, so, yesterday's appointment with a different doctor, and this doctor is for ADHD. For anyone who doesn't know what ADHD is, it stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. I was diagnosed with it a long time ago when I was little. I've been on medications growing up to help get it under control so it wouldn't affect me so much in school. And, hold on. My hair is clean, just not brushed. I have a habit of immediately putting my hair up into a bun first thing in the morning because in case I have to do something, I don't want my hair on my face. But my hair is clean, just not brushed. But, excuse me. I've been dealing with ADHD majority of my life. Some days it's hard, some days it's mediocre, and other days it's really good. It always varies. But the doctor I am currently seeing for it, yesterday my appointment with her is usually when I'm there, I get there about 5 minutes before the appointment. I sign in and all of that, make my payment for it, and I sit in the waiting room. And usually I have to sit in the waiting room an hour or two because she's got other people ahead of me that she's dealing with. And then when she's done with all that, then I get seen. And I was under the impression that yesterday, because I had to be dropped off super early at my appointment so my husband can go to his appointment in another town. He drops me off at about 12:15, 12:30-ish, somewhere in that vicinity. And so he drops me off and he goes to his appointment. And I first walked in and the secretary sees me because she's in the hallway and she goes, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here for my appointment. I'm just early." And she goes, "Oh, when is your appointment?" I said, "My appointment is 2:30. I'm just a couple of hours early because he had to drop me off so he can go to his appointment." And she goes, "Oh, well, okay." So she signs me in, takes my payment, and I sit in the waiting room. And I'm under the impression I'm going to be sitting there for 3 to 4 hours. So I brought my cell phone charger, snacks, and drinks. And I was just going to sit there playing games on my phone or watching whatever's on the TV until it was my turn and my husband could pick me up. Normally, like I said, I'm sitting there for 2 or 3 hours waiting. I was sitting there for 1 hour, from 12:30 to 1:30. And all of a sudden, I wasn't expecting this, but the doctor calls me back. And I'm like, it's not even my turn yet. I pick up all my stuff. I go back there. I look at her and I said, "My appointment is not until 2:30. She goes, "Oh, I know. But seeing as that you're here early, I thought I'd go ahead and get you in." And I'm like, okay. I was so thrown off mentally because I'm so like every other time I've been at that appointment, I arrive 5 minutes before I'm supposed to be there, but I have to wait nearly an hour or two before I get called back. The one time that I'm expecting mentally to sit there for 3 to 4 hours, I get called back almost as soon as possible. And I'm thinking, it just baffled me. It didn't make any sense. But, I sent my husband a message letting him know that I ended up getting called back earlier than expected. And I would let him know when I left my appointment. He also sent me a message saying that he was at his appointment And he found out he had an ear infection, and that's why he was in so much pain with his ears and his head. And no sooner do I sit down in the doctor's chair to talk to her about how my medication was affecting me, my sister calls. And at first I just put my phone on mute and let it ring, but she keeps excessively calling. And I'm like, okay, something must be up. I told my doctor, I said, wait 1 second, I'm going to tell her I have to call her back. And I answer the phone, and I tell her, I'm like, I am in my appointment. I will call you back as soon as I get out. So I hang up. I did with my appointment. Once I get out, I let the husband know through texting I'm done with my appointment, just waiting on him. He said, okay. I call my sister back. Now, before I tell you what my sister was trying to frantically call me about, I'm going to give you a backstory. When I was 7 years old, and this is my first time I remember ever having a loose tooth. One night when we were getting ready for bed, me and my sister were getting ready for bed, and we were in the bathroom getting ready to take our bath and go to bed. And I discovered that I had a loose tooth. I told my foster mother at that point in time when I was 7, I said, my tooth is loose. And she goes, well, try wiggling it back and forth to see how loose it is. So I do. And I said, it's very, very wiggly. It moves a lot. And she goes, well, then it'll be falling out soon. And when it does, you can put it under your pillow for the tooth fairy. And I looked at her and said, I have to wait for it to fall out. And she goes, well, yeah, it'll come out on its own. And I'm standing there thinking, I don't want to wait. This is taking too long. And I thought to myself, screw it. Why wait for it to fall out? I'll just take care of it myself. I reach up. Now, mind you, I'm 7 years old. I'm standing in front of the bathroom sink, waiting for my turn for a bath. I look at my tooth in the mirror, and I'm like, you know what? I'll take care of it myself. I reach up. I grab a hold of that tooth. I yanked. And blood went everywhere. Blood went the mirror. It sprayed the mirror, the bathroom sink. And my foster mom looked at me and goes, did you just yank that tooth out of your mouth? And I'm like, yes, I did. And she goes, why? And I'm like, because I didn't want to wait for it to fall out on its own. I didn't feel any pain. I just rinsed my mouth out to get the rest of the blood out. And I was good. Now, fast forward to my phone call with my sister. She calls to tell me that her daughter, my niece, who is currently 6 years old, was given apple slices for a snack. My sister had given her apple slices for a snack, and she started to bite down into one, and she says, Mommy, my tooth is loose. And my sister tells her, well, wiggle it and see if it'll move. She does, and she goes, it's moving, Mommy, it's wiggling. And she goes, well, then that means it's going to fall out soon. And when it does, she proceeds to tell her what her foster mom does and stuff like that. And my niece starts to try to bite down on the apple slice. And she goes, I can't eat this apple slice. My tooth is in the way. I can't bite down on it. And she goes, you know what? Here. She hands my sister the apple slice, reaches up, grabs the tooth, and yanks. And my sister's watching her and going, you just yanked the tooth out of your mouth. My niece didn't feel any pain. There was only a little bit of blood, but not much. She proceeds to hand the tooth to my sister and then takes the apple slice back from her and starts eating it and goes, there. Now I can eat my apple slice. The tooth is out of the way. And, so when she calls me, she goes, your niece just yanked her tooth out of her head. And I immediately had a flashback as to when I was 7 years old and yanked my own tooth out. And I'm thinking, she took after me. And she's just like, my sister's in shock. Because she honestly thought that my niece was going to either wait for it to fall out or she was going to have this whole crying spell about having to get it removed. Nope, she takes after me. She just said, screw it. I'm not going to wait for this thing to come out on its own. I'm just going to yank it out myself. And she does. I am just laughing at it because I think it's just so funny. And but I'm still laughing to this day, like right now, because I just find it so funny how she did the exact same thing I did about that age. It was just funny. And when my husband came to pick me up from the appointment, I looked at him and said, I have a funny story to tell you. I told him about my story when I was 7 and my loose tooth, and then I told him about my sister's phone call. And he goes, because when I told him about how I pulled the tooth out of my mouth, he goes, oof. He goes, because he was the type as a child who was scared to pull his tooth out. When he hears what my niece did, he's like, wow, because she takes after me on that. She literally did the same thing I did at that age. I'm just laughing about it. It's so funny to me. It really is. And, I just think about it and it's just super funny. But, yeah, that was the story about it. I'm going to have to call my sister later and see if she can take a picture of my niece with the loose tooth. Like, the tooth is gone now. So, yeah. I probably won't be showing any pictures of my niece with the missing tooth. I don't think I will do that. But I am definitely going to see if I can get her to send me a picture of it. It's funny. So, anyhow, that was yesterday's thing. For some reason, I feel lethargic and tired. So, just wanted to tell you about yesterday's appointment. Later today, me and the hubby have to go to Walmart and get a few things. I have to get milk, coffee creamer. That's what I'm drinking in this tumbler right now. It's a French vanilla cappuccino. You use a Keurig to make it, and it tastes almost exactly the same as what I would get at Quick Trip. But I don't have to go to Quick Trip every day to get one. I can now just drink it from here. But I've got a little bit of creamer left, and I gotta get more. Milk, that, kale, and blueberries for the hubby. So, that's it for now.